I'm Martin from Alabama. I'm bricksnaps on Instagram if I'm not moody and decide I want to stay as bricksnaps. And this is Cinderella's original Once Upon a Time castle that I have built out of Lego bricks and brought to Atlanta for you to see and share with the world.
Incredible build here. So you've obviously built tons of Disney stuff. Some of it's on display here. Lots of experience. What led you to building this castle now?
Yeah, so someone called Abner Finley and Joe Mine 3 or 4 years ago in Virginia, when we were talking about what to build, they said, build this one, no one's ever built it and it'd be really hard. And so I decided I would, and here we are. It took a while to figure out exactly how to do it. There's really limited reference material on it. It's this massive, tall, Mary Blair style inspired castle. She painted it, and I'm a big fan of her artist. She's Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, which is other things I've done. So that was my inspiration for doing it. Yeah.
And is this one of them that's in a park anywhere, or did you not have that to pull from?
Yeah, no, so this was the original Cinderella movie, not in a park. And actually, when they designed the castle, they didn't have many castles to reference it off. So you'll actually see, well, as I learned, many of the characteristics of it are in your park castles. They've pulled from it. So this was the king's, Prince Charming's dad's castle, and then Cinderella went there and lost the slipper and got her attention and a little bit of clickbait and got married and then took ownership of the castle. So
there we go. So we can move around to the back now and check out some of the details back here. So what is happening in this section?
Yeah, so this is the back of the castle. And I wasn't sure if I would actually get on and build this. It was actually a real big struggle to do. So right before midnight in the movie, Cinderella's dancing with Prince Charming, the clock strikes, and so I wanted to capture that scene. I wasn't sure if I'd do a ballroom inside or outside, but I thought very specifically about how it would display here. Actually, the stairs in the back and the front are forced perspective, so it looks steeper than it actually is. But yeah, it's a nice contrast to the grey on the back, because the front, I've painted it with lights, to get the color I want. I didn't have that on the back, so we've got the nice effect here.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really neat technique. So you're kind of using the lighting not just to illuminate it, but really give a certain color effect.
Yeah. So Walt Disney, he made sure all his park castles were painted with light to have forced perspective. So we've done that. This was also mainly seen at moonlight, midnight, and so I want to make sure I have the blue on the front. But yeah, on the very back, right, even on Cinderella's slipper, as she's going around, there's lighting angled inside the ballroom, which you can't see, that bounces off the wall. I had to change the wall color to an aqua color. That I got that brick from Beyond the Brick in Utah at Brick Slaves. It bounces off the white floor, and you will see a sparkle in her shoe off a square 1x1 round brick. That's the shoe that she loses. Yeah.
I can see that even from back here. Yes, that is a really cool little detail you've included.
Thank you very much. I'm very proud of that detail. Yeah.
So now we can move to kind of the larger structure of the castle now, which obviously has a bunch of these different towers. Is most of this built pretty much as separate sections?
Yeah, so it is. There's another fun fact. We go deeper with my builds, right? So I always build modularly. This was built like a cardboard cutout castle that you might have had as a child. Yeah. So it can be assembled like that, or we could take parts and assemble it however we wanted. I want to just remember what that castle was like, essentially. So yeah, but fun facts on the rooftops. The 1,400 and something pieces in the sand blue rooftop. I took that design from the Rapunzel tower I did, which is my oldest build. But there's 27,000 1x2 plates in the round towers that I had to attach together to give a nice effect. But also in the video, as you go around the front, you'll see sparkling. It's by design, so you can't see with the eye, but you see it on video.
Yeah. Do you know how many pieces total are in the whole build?
This one, I have a clue. Yeah, because I had to buy the majority of it. There's a little under 100,000 pieces all over the build. And the clock tower, because it's bigger and heavier on top, it's made the weight distribution issue a massive problem. So more solid brick everywhere. But yeah, it's under 100,000 pieces, just under.
And that clock tower is kind of some more ornate, detailed area. So what are some of the elements you included there, and how did that part come together for you?
Yeah, so I got from the Peter Pan set, I got the little clocks, and I erased the figures with the pictures of Peter Pan and that with sandpaper or something. So that's where I started there. But we're all sand blue, we're chunky. It's actually attached. You see there's brick, square bricks on the angles there. Yeah. That's what locks everything into place. That's the main core of it all there. Yeah.
Very impressive. What's the tallest point on the build here?
The very top part. But it's 6 foot 7.5 inches from ground to the very top of the steeple for height. So yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. And then you mentioned the round tower building here. So what elements do you find work well for that? That's something that a lot of builders try to get into early on, is building these types of round towers.
Do you want to see?
Of course.
I'm nervous about doing it, but I will do it on this tower. And you might want to film the top in case it breaks, right? So I'll show you the interior because grey brick is really expensive. I don't have any more grey brick, just so you know, Lego. I don't have any and I can't buy any Lego. It's all used, but so I'm going to show you the interior without it breaking.
There you go.
All right, so you'll see, well, you're going to see 1x2 clip bricks in there, which are really cheap. They're like a cent a piece. So I bought every one that I could in America. And so I was able to turn those inside. Deeper parts of this castle, you've got the lightsabers connecting. Then inside this, you've got the 1x2 round plates that have holes in them. And so I've got lightsabers all put in there as well. So I could drop this, shall we? And it probably wouldn't shatter. So those are the things that added for stability, because there's no way for it to be connected any other way. It might fall over, but it's not going to break. I don't think. Yeah.
That's what you want, though, especially when thinking about transporting to a show. Building like that is very important.
Yeah, so, I'm always doing that, right? So I'm building something that's like, okay, how can I break it down? How can I transport it? How can I connect it together easily? This might be problematic, just so you know. Hang on. So you can look in. Hey, I'll show you the inside of this turret. We'll get it in. It'll take a bit to clip it inside. So we use these 1x2 plates here and these little clip bars. It's similar to what I had in Rapunzel's tower, but these have really helped for stability. 14 of these plates that go around here. Sand blue is a very rare color, by the way. And I had to buy from Bricklink a lot of sand blue. But yeah, so then that just slots in. This is going to be a little bit dodgy, so I'm sure you're going to film it.
And that's what we're here for.
Yeah, I know, that's it. And this bit will just kind of sit and rest on top, yeah? So this should then cradle in there, so it's not connected. And this is like the format of all the towers. Come on. Everyone's like, break, break. I'm like, don't break. Is that even? Is that is it a bit wobbly? Super, thank you.
Get some crowd participation in here.
We love crowd participation. Yeah, okay, super. Oh, I'll show you one of the most expensive Lego pieces in here.
Oh.
So I ran out of money. It's not that. It is a 1x2 jumper plate that's stuck under here that are, I think, $5-6 a piece on those.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Do you know what set that was originally in?
No, I don't like sets. I've got no clue. But it was very expensive. So I hope everyone appreciates that because my children didn't eat that week. So yeah, once upon a time, there we go.
I love it. Since we're right here, you can point out the unique tree designs here as well.
If you reference my Alice in Wonderland builds, I'm a big fan of recycling things. These are from my Alice in Wonderland build. So little square trees, that's where Alice painted the roses white. I was a bit lazy, so I just put these in last minute. However, the ones up here at the very front look very simple. I despise trees, but they're just green plates, right? And so they're the fern trees or whatever, cypress trees that were there. I was like, how do I build it? I was like, I'm just going to tall and skinny. People aren't going to focus on them. It's just going to be like a background thing.
Yeah. And then how about the carriage up here?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun building that, quite frankly. I feel, so I got lazy and didn't put the reins on. They took their reins off. We've got James Bond driving the carriage. Like it goes beep, beep, beep like that. It's just intricate and beautiful, and I like it. What I really want to show you, though, is the magic of Disney and the lights. So if you look at the castle right now, we're just grey, and some of my friends told me it's a boring grey castle. But at moonlight, if we can have the lights kind of paint, right, so it gives us that blue colour, which is how it's always seen in reference material, but it's also how Disney light their castles in the parks. Not only with the light shining on, but you wouldn't necessarily know that's the light there. So that's the added, there's so many little Easter eggs that aren't the build, that are part of the process of the build.
One of the interesting designs is kind of the chessboard pattern on the sides there.
Yeah, because that's what the reference material was. And it's actually, as I build these, I see so many design features and why they did stuff, and that just breaks things up nicely. And the blue is actually Cinderella's blue that's in with the sand blue that you see tied everywhere else in the build. So, yeah.
So you obviously have a lot of experience coming to shows and displaying. How long does it take you to set up a build like this at a show now?
Well, this one, it should be easy, but I've got a wooden 8-foot by 4-foot board that was an emergency on yesterday evening. So I'll now measure everything. We were off by like 1.1% on an angle. That would offset these towers. So that was a challenge, but we got it figured out. Yeah, I mean, what I did, I came up here, and then I kind of laid everything out, and then I actually enjoyed the process of assembling it. I assembled it here for the first time yesterday, and then lit it up. I'd never seen it lit. I didn't know if it would work or not, but it did.
Yeah, it looks magnificent here. So do you find people recognize what this is right away, or is there, because there's so many Disney castles, what do people think when they see this?
I think, well, I've got Cinderella in front, so it kind of gives it away, and on the steps, that's helpful. But it's actually, like, if you're a Disney fan, you know what it is. If you aren't, you might not as much. But what I haven't heard is people saying, what is it? Whereas sometimes I do get that. Like when I made a Peach's Castle, they're like, what is that? I was like, oh yeah, I won't keep that one. So it's probably more recognizable than I think, but then I have artwork at the back and books just in case people don't know.
Yeah. And coming back around to this side now as well, you see a little bit more of that detail with the smaller trees you were talking about, and then what is some of the designs kind of inside there?
There's actually very limited design, apart from the stairs are, instead of like, the stairs are like the studs are facing us and tiled up to make them as narrow as we can. You're not really going to see the majority of that. Your eyes are never really going there. But I'll show you how I get the battery pack. That's fun as well. There's IKEA boxes under both of these, but that opens up and I've got my access to the battery pack. So once again, my bricks, very rarely are actually everything's attached. So all these pieces kind of slot into place for you. These trees are also recycled from Alice in Wonderland, which is why it's not on display here.
You've got the king up there.
Yep, he's the king.
There you go. That works. I like this sort of like upside down arch technique. So it's really kind of turning a piece upside down. You can often ways kind of use it in a different way.
Yeah, so I want a little bit of flow, right, with all that structure. I don't know if it's meant to be like that or not, but I was like, I will go with the flow. And then we have these little bits for the water spouts, so as it rains and it comes off the roof. You know, the roof, I don't have many studs showing, but it's all on the roof, right? So I've taken a lot of the wedge plates and just caddy-cornered them to give texture, because I think that it needs texture. LEGO build their sets to have texture in, so I wanted to be true to that a little bit as well.
Fantastic work here, Martin, as always. Really fantastic centerpiece in the middle of some of your other displays here at the show, so thank you for taking us through it.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.